very, very well organized.
Political leaders set the direction for their countries, influence the economy, and indirectly affect the well-being of every individual. It may seem that such people can't be strange or behave foolishly. Well, we've gathered a number of striking episodes that shatter this myth. Here are the most cringe-worthy moments involving the world's most powerful politicians. The then First Lady forgot she wasn't dealing with just any grandma, but with the monarch of a truly powerful nation. Trump can deliver a powerful speech, but suddenly turn it into a farce. Here, for example, he lists person, man, woman, camera, TV. Quite the original sequence, isn't it?
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Still, even unexpected agreement can look odd. Here, a Western journalist, a fighter for democracy, and a Venezuelan dictator, an enemy of the Western world, suddenly started singing together. Turns out they both liked the same song. One fall can be written off as bad luck, but 3 in a row, it clearly wasn't Biden's day. Next to that, Trump seems almost athletic. After all, he only stumbled once, though Rubio decided to share the experience with his leader. The president of South Africa struggled with putting on a face mask on camera. Seems like the country's quarantine measures weren't very successful. A bit of positivity. Here, Trump brushes off Macron. So cute. No wonder Trump talks about their special relationship.
I'll get that little piece of dandruff off. That little piece. We have to make him perfect. He is perfect.
But Macron's own citizens aren't nearly as friendly and sweet. A powerful slap. One wonders what the president of France did to deserve that epic smack. Still, that's just a shadow of the legendary slap he got from his own wife. Funny how he looked into the camera afterward as if nothing happened. A parliamentarian in Dublin recounted how a tourist was departed from the US over a meme featuring the US vice president. A shame really, since the meme was actually great and became even more popular after the diplomatic scandal.
Airport and sent back to Oslo. Why? He had this meme on his phone, Minister.
Alright, it's understandable that the president of Haiti was very thirsty, but still, it would have been better if he used a cup instead of grabbing the whole pitcher. Trump has an interesting way of dealing with the press. In this instance, Trump directly tells a journalist that he's in danger simply because he's addressing him.
You're even in danger talking to me right now. Do you know that? You are in danger talking to me right now. So I should probably get out of here.
Here, a South African minister discovered a new English word in her speech. Funny how she praised herself once she finally managed to say it.
To perform the functions of my office conscientiously, okay? And the best of my ability.
Conscientiously.
Conscientious, actually.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson knew how to make an entrance when he wanted to. Not quite superhero level, but definitely memorable. An old but brilliant interview where a young Trump says he believes politicians are too mean and aggressive and that's not his way. If only we'd known.
As being a mean life, and I also see it as somebody with strong views and somebody with the kind of views that are maybe a little bit unpopular, which may be right.
U.S. Defense Secretary Hegseth tried to dodge a senator's question with the words, "I'd be careful about what I read." Zero logic there, so off camera she cringed and said, "Oh Lord."
Have you given the order?
Senator, I'd be careful what you read in books and believing it, except for the Bible.
Oh my God.
Biden could also mix things up when interacting with foreign guests. In this instance, he praised the president of Ukraine for his courage in resisting Russian aggression, but then mixed up the names and called Putin the president of Ukraine, i.e. the enemy and aggressor, not Zelensky. Fortunately, Biden realized his mistake and corrected himself in a rather funny way.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. You can beat President Putin. President Zelensky.
Still, there were worse moments, like during a meeting with Indian Prime Minister Modi, when Biden simply forgot the speaking order and loudly asked who's next right when Modi was supposed to speak. Seems like the leader of a country with over 1.5 billion people and the world's 5th largest GDP felt like a student in school.
Who's next?
Distinguished guests, the Prime Minister of the Republic of India.
Trump does show patience when he's the one being touched. For instance, he let a late-night show host test whether the rumors about him being bald were true. The myth was busted in quite an original way. Trump seems to have a strange tendency for physical contact with other leaders. Even the now late Pope felt his attention. Biden was president of the country with the largest active nuclear arsenal in the world, so when he turned around after a speech and began greeting thin air, it sparked a very natural sense of fear, though it did look funny. Trump has a unique hobby. He turns a handshake with Macron into a public arm wrestling match and more. Macron clearly doesn't enjoy this kind of attention on his knees. Perhaps Biden was once a great orator, but when he forgot about the death of his aide during a speech and began calling for her, it became a clear sign that his time had passed.
Senator Booker, Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
However, Biden's creepiest habit is that he smells strangers without their permission. These episodes are numerous and apparently without explanation. The President of the United States could just lean in and start sniffing some girl's hair, then go right back to what he was doing. Trump also makes extremely unpleasant mistakes, like this one, where he was talking about the horrific 9/11 terrorist attack, but mixed up the months, calling it the 7th instead of the 9th.
7/11 down at the World Trade Center right after it came down.
But epic fails aren't exclusive to US politicians. Here, a podium built for Nigeria's most influential politicians clearly wasn't made very well. Such an epic fail says a lot about the state of the nation, doesn't it? Turkey's President Erdogan grabbed Macron by the finger to hold him for a conversation. Funny how the Turkish leader held on to this popular Frenchman for quite a while. During a visit to Nairobi, former British Prime Minister Theresa May got so carried away that she decided to dance. Well, it looked way too cringe, even if that word didn't exist back then, to help her political image. Then again, what can you expect if right after her appointment, she nearly lost the door to her own office? Biden tried to show that he's still fit and strong, like when he went on a bike ride in Delaware, though it ended with him falling, which kind of backfired. And here, Biden simply froze without moving like a statue. Well, maybe that's when he's rebooting. Could he have fallen asleep with his eyes open? After all, Biden does seem to enjoy dozing off at official events now and then. In fact, there's more than one known case where he literally nodded off during a ceremony. Still, Hillary Clinton playing with balloons might look even weirder. At least Biden could turn even a regular interview into a show. In this press conference, he suddenly switches to a whisper and, without any clear reason, answers a journalist as if he's telling a secret, even though it's all happening publicly. Well, the press conference definitely got more entertaining.
$1.9 trillion relief so far. They're going to be getting checks in the mail that are consequential this week.
Some of Biden's odd moments became the target of Trump's speeches. Here, Trump mocks how Biden literally lost the way off stage. Well, Trump's win seems quite logical when you see stuff like this. And here, at least Biden waited until the end of the ceremony to fall. Interestingly, his fall looked as if he were about to start doing push-ups, though he's probably not setting any new athletic records. But Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was clearly intrigued by Macron. One wonders what he said to her that made her eyebrows nearly launch into space. Maybe Trump's close presence was a clue. Share your theories in the comments. And here, Trump kissed the air next to another politician's temple. Well, that's better than actually planting one on his forehead. Melania Trump prefers it when her husband kisses the air near her cheeks rather than the cheeks themselves. With the Prime Minister of Montenegro, Trump's relationship is noticeably colder. Just look at that shove. With the Prime Minister of Japan, Trump apparently wasn't very familiar, so he put him through a handshake test. Trump held the Japanese Prime Minister's hand for a full minute and a half, and credit where it's due, the man held strong. Trump's tactile nature even extends to the flag. Hugging the US flag is the ultimate show of patriotism. He also loves trolling kids, like in this case, when instead of handing a child some candy on Halloween, he placed a chocolate bar on top of the costume, knowing full well the kid couldn't reach it. Still, Trump can be kind to the military, like here, when he picked up and adjusted the hat of an honor guard member after it was blown away by the wind. A piece of toilet paper got stuck to Trump's heel. It happens. But he was stepping out of a limousine, not a bathroom. How many hours did that paper flap behind the President of the United States? It's starting to make sense why Trump ends up in strange situations. Deep down, he's a dancer. Just look at that new choreography and those moves that resemble the convulsions of a startled dog. Impressive showmanship. This dance is much more modest, but not bad either, right? Maybe Trump became president just so he could dance in front of big crowds. And this mix-up with a high-ranking North Korean official looks like a cartoon scene. This one deserves a replay. But we must admit, Trump's team knows about his peculiar reputation. Even at his inauguration, when a guest accidentally made a triangle with his fingers, he was quickly asked to change hand positions. They knew that a single frame like that would become a sensation among conspiracy theorists who believe the US government is run by reptilians. But the Democrats' image is slipping too. Kamala Harris, for instance, just refuses to shake hands. Notice how her conversation partner deliberately ignores her, not just doesn't notice her. Russian politicians tend to have a dark sense of humor. Putin jokingly suggested exporting tons of pork to Indonesia, which is predominantly Muslim. Clearly, Russian indifference to other countries remains strong. A funny moment from recent history, then Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi showed up at a meeting with then German Chancellor Angela Merkel talking on the phone. The Italian blatantly ignored Merkel as if she were his secretary. Such disrespect might have led to war in the past, but Merkel was more patient than that. By the way, Merkel clearly doesn't like being touched. She reacts to a hand on her shoulder as if it were an electric shock. Merkel got back at Indian Prime Minister Modi for that discomfort. He was clearly shocked when she ignored his offered hand. Politics used to be a lot more active and full of action, like the moment when someone threw shoes at George W. Bush twice. He dodged the first and deflected the second. Not bad reflexes. Another unforgettable moment, Bill Clinton playing the saxophone. Politicians of that era definitely had personal style, didn't they? Musical performances by presidents were quite the trend back then. How about the dance of Russia's first president, Boris Yeltsin? Seems like it really boosted his popularity. Even now, former President George W. Bush has his moments. Here, he's condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but mixes up the countries and says Iraq. Maybe a flashback to his own presidency?
A wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq. Of Ukraine. Iraq, too. Anyway.
Compared to Bush or Clinton, Obama seems low-key. He just swatted a fly during a live interview, though the journalist praised him as if he'd just taken out a terrorist, not an insect.
The most persistent fly I've ever seen. Nice.
Still, Obama could have been a decent rapper or beatboxer. Someone, please sample that sound.
If we, a bunch of okey doke.
But even Johnson couldn't always defeat his greatest rival, the umbrella. Chinese leader Xi Jinping also knows how to make a strong entrance, and he doesn't even need to do anything. His security will stop anyone in his path, even important officials. But some moments are just worse. At the African Union Summit, the president of Cameroon showed up without understanding where he was. No exaggeration, it took several minutes to explain to him where he was, what his role was, and what was going on. Just look at that new choreography and those moves that resemble the convulsions of a startled dog. Impressive showmanship. Such an epic fail says a lot about the state of the nation, doesn't it?